Are you able to see anything now? Can you use the link I've sent? Can anybody hear me? If you can hear me, testing 1 2, testing 1 2, testing 1 2, testing 1 2. If you can hear me, please just paste something on the exam group. If you can see the link, if you can see the exam questions, there are 2 exam questions on the on the screen. So if you can see them, please. I know it looks faded on one side, but I can still read. You can see the questions. So if you can just indicate indicate in the WhatsApp group. Okay, Cornelius type. Okay, all right, that's good. I don't know how many other people are online. Please, if you are online, indicate so that I can start. Only one person has indicated that they can see the questions. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why it's blared, but I can read the questions. I'm not sure why it is blared, for whatever reason. Okay, I think, okay, let me just call some people that are offline, and we'll soon start. I will be reading the questions so that you can be able to answer them. Let me just call the people that are supposed to be offline. I'm supposed to call some people online. 071786209. So basically, the first question says, in what is the essence of spiritual formation according to Romans chapter 12, verse 2, and 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 18? Are you ready to do the exam?
Yes.
Okay, let me just add some people to the line, and then we'll start.
The mobile subscriber you have dialed has their phone switched off. Please try again later.
Hello? Hello? Are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, let's start with whoever is available at the moment. So the first question says that what is the essence of spiritual formation according to Romans 12 verse 2? Romans 12 verse 2 talks about being transformed by the renewing of your mind. And 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 18 also talks about being transformed. So the questions are: number one, A, acquiring theological knowledge and applying it. Acquiring theological knowledge and applying it. B, transformation through renewal of the mind and reflecting Christ's image. Transforming through the renewal of the mind and reflecting Christ's image. C, performing religious duties and following rituals. Performing religious duties and following rituals. So A, acquiring theological knowledge and applying it. B, transformation through the renewal of the mind and reflecting Christ's image. C, performing religious duties and following it. We go to question 2. If you don't get the question, please indicate. Bandumba, what sort of noise are you talking about? If you can type, I'm not sure I understand when you say there is noise. Okay, but are you able to hear me? Brother Ndumba, are you able to hear me? Okay. For those of you who can't hear, just if you can't see, just okay. All right. Is the noise still there? Okay, so the second question. The second question says, what is the major issue with many current theological training models? What is the current, what is the major issue with the current theological models? Question 1 says, excess focus on practical skills without theological knowledge. The theological knowledge is a little bit blurred. The second, that's B. That's A. B says overemphasis on academic knowledge with limited focus on spiritual character development. C, prioritizing spiritual formation over academic learning. So the question again, what is the major issue with many current theological training models? What is the major issue with the current theological model? A, excessive focus on practical skills without theological knowledge. B, overemphasis on academic knowledge. What you do, oh, sorry, I didn't give the instruction. The way you write, just write section A, this spiritual formation. Even if you just write section A, you just write 1, whether it's A, whether it's B, or whether it's C, you just write that. Then you go to question 2, you write A, B, and then you send to my line directly on WhatsApp. That's what... Okay, Mr. Nyangu says can't see clearly. Yeah, it's a little bit blurred, and I don't know the reason why. So I you just have to depend on what I'm reading. I don't know if Nyangu, you have managed to hear the first question. Did you get my first question? Okay, so we move to, let me see if there's something else I can do. Okay, let me see if I can, maybe somewhere it may be clearer. Okay, sorry. All right, we'll just do as you have said. Okay. All right, so we continue with question 3. It says, which of the following theological models is characterized by its focus on intellectual rigor and doctrinal accuracy? Which one of the following models is characterized by its focus on intellectual rigor and doctrinal accuracy? So the first one, Berlin model, the Athens model, or Jerusalem model. So A, the Berlin model, B, Athens model, C, Jerusalem model. Question 4. Question 4, what is the limitation of the Berlin model for theological training? What is the limitation of the what is the limitation of the Berlin model of theological training? A, it overemphasizes practical application. B, it focuses heavily on academic study and theory. C, it is well balanced between theory and practice. So A, it overemphasizes practical application. B, it focuses on it overemphasizes practical application. B, it focuses heavily on academic study and theory. C, it is well balanced between theory and practice. Okay, let's go to question 5. Question 5, please, if you have any questions, just type it in the chat, and then I can get back to you. According to Wajman, what is the traditional meaning of spirituality? What is the traditional meaning of spirituality? A process of reformation to recover the original shape of man, the image of God. B, a program that is completed in few weeks. C, learning how to do things for the Lord. I'm sure now you can see the screen clearly. Is that not so? Okay, let's go to question question 6. I can see the screen on my side, which I was not able to see clearly. Question 6 says, in Christian spiritual formation, what role does Christ play according to Wajman? What role does Christ play according to Wajman? A, he serves as an inspiration figure without direct impact on transformation. B, he is the central model and source of transformation for believers. C, he is the historical figure whose teachings are secondary to spiritual practices. Give you a few minutes to look at that, and then we move on to question 7. Question 7. Which of the following best describes the process of spiritual formation? Which of the following best describes the process of spiritual formation? A quick fix to spiritual issues through specific programs. B, an ongoing journey of growth and transformation into Christ-likeness. C, completing a series of religious tasks and rituals. C, completing a series of religious tasks and rituals. Question 8. What aspect is emphasized in spiritual formation? What aspect is emphasized in spiritual formation? A, immediate changes in behavior through external efforts. B, a continuous responsive relationship to God's transformative grace. C, adherence to a set of prescribed religious activities. A, immediate changes in behavior through external efforts. B, a continuous responsive relationship to God's transformative grace. C, adherence to a set of prescribed religious activities. We go to question 9. What is the ultimate aim of engaging in spiritual formation practice? What is the ultimate aim of engaging in spiritual formation practices? 9. A, to acquire a broad range of theological knowledge. B, to grow and be transformed into the likeness of Jesus Christ. C, to to complete a set of spiritual milestones or achievements. To complete a set of spiritual milestones or achievements. Let's go to the last question under first section of spiritual formation. Question 10. What is a recommended approach for overcoming limitations of the Berlin model in theological training? What is the recommended approach to overcoming the limitation of the Berlin model in theological training? A greater focus on practical ministry experiences. B, emphasis on theological studies and intellectual development. C, expanding into specialized theological fields. A greater focus on practical experiences. B, emphasis on theological studies and intellectual development. C, expanding into various specialized theological fields. So we can move on to African spirituality, which is section B. Section 2, African spirituality. And the first question says, what does African spirituality primarily represent? What does African spirituality primarily represent? A, the integration of traditional beliefs with Christianity and Islam. The question is, what does African spirituality primarily represent? So A, the integration of African traditional beliefs with Christianity and Islam, the core set of traditional religious practices and beliefs in Africa before external influences. C, the contemporary reintegration of African religious systems. So again, the question is, what does African spirituality primarily represent? So the first one says an integration of African traditional beliefs and Christianity and Islam, or the core set of traditional and religious practices and beliefs in Africa before external influence. See the contemporary reinterpretation of African religious systems. Question 2. Which element is generally not associated with African spirituality according to Chilias? Which of the following elements is not associated with African spirituality according to Chilias? A, community harmony or Ubuntu. B, emphasis on collective well-being. C, strict individualism. We go to question 3. Question 3 and 4 are on the screen. Question 3 says, what component of African spirituality, what component of African spiritual hierarchy varies across different regions of Africa? What component of African spiritual hierarchy varies across different regions of Africa? A, worship of nature spirit. B, ancestral veneration. C, the role and attributes of divine beings. The role and attributes of divine beings. So question 4, why is it beneficial for Christians to study African spirituality? Why is it beneficial for Christians, to study African spirituality? I know that somebody has been going off and on. Just take note of the questions you've missed. We can do them when other people have gone offline. So the question is, why is it beneficial for Christians to study African spirituality? A, to compete with African traditional religions. B, to understand how it influences African Christians' worldview and practices. C, to eliminate African spiritual practices. To eliminate African spiritual practices. Well, just want to make sure that you can see that I'm there. We didn't have power, so I can see that another person has joined. So what you do if you have just joined us, just continue from where you have found the exam. We are doing section 2, which is African spirituality. And we are on question 3 and question 4. Question 3 and question 4. So question, sometimes it's a little bit blurred. Oh, I've lost 2 people already. The first one says, what component of African spirituality hierarchy varies across different regions of Africa? A, worship of nature spirits. C, ancestral veneration. B, ancestral veneration. C, the role of divine beings. The role of divine beings. Okay. Question. Okay, let me see. Question 4. Why is it beneficial for Christians to study African spirituality? A, to compete with African traditional regions. B, okay, all right. To understand how it influences African Christian worldview and practices. C, to eliminate African religions. We move to question 5 and 6. Question 5 and 6. What spiritual cosmology in African spirituality bears similarity with the Hebrew understanding of the world? This is just basically worldview. What worldview in African spirituality bears similarity or is similar to the Hebrew understanding of the world? Number 1, A, the celestial realm, earthly realm, and the underworld. Celestial means the sky or the heavens. The earthly realm and the underworld. B, the terrestrial realm, celestial, and aquatic realms. C, the concept of heaven, hell, and purgatory. The concept of heaven and hell, and purgatory. Which of these actually are shared between African spirituality and Hebrew view of the world? Question 6. What is a notable positive aspect of African spirituality that might be beneficial for Christians to consider? What is a notable positive aspect of African spirituality that might be beneficial for Christians to consider. One, A, separation of spiritual and secular life. B, holistic view, integrating all aspects of life and spirituality. B, holistic view, integrating all aspects of life and spirituality. C, dependence on intermediaries for spiritual practices. Dependence on intermediaries for spiritual practices. We go to question 7. Question 7. Again, some people have dropped out. I'm just remaining with one person. I'm sure this is the same problem of network. Anyway, we continue. Which categories best describe the practice of worship in African spirituality? Which categories best describe the practice of worship in African spirituality? A, prayers, offerings, and meditations. Prayers, offerings, and meditations. B, rituals, music, and sacrifices. Rituals, music, and sacrifices. B, chants, scripture reading, spiritual reading, and reflective silence. Chants, scripture reading, and reflective silence. So, which categories best describe the practice of worship in African spirituality? A, prayers, offerings, and meditation. B, spiritual music, B, rituals, music, and sacrifices. C, chants, scripture, reading, and reflective silence. We go to question 8. Question 8 says, how is death perceived in African spirituality? How is death perceived in African spirituality? A, as a complete cessation or end of existence. B, as a final separation with no further interaction. C, a transition that maintains continuity and interaction with the living. A transition that maintains continuity and interaction with the living. Question 9. Why is there a strong interest in power in African spiritual context? Why is there interest in power in African spiritual context? That's question 9. A, to assert dominance over others, to access resources beyond normal means and protection from harm. C, to gain political leverage. C, to gain political leverage. Okay, I know we're having challenges with the network. Oops. Okay, I think we can. Okay, so let's continue. At least 2 people have joined. The question was, why is there strong interest in power in African spiritual context to assert dominance over others, to access resources beyond normal means and protection from harm? C, to gain political mileage. We go to number 10, question 10. What is the reason why traditional medicine is often viewed favorably compared to Western medicine? What is the reason why African traditional medicine is viewed favorably compared to Western medicine? A, it addresses both spiritual and physical aspect of health. B, it is less costly and more readily available. C, it exclusively relies on spiritual approaches without any physical treatment. So A, it addresses both spiritual and physical aspects of health. It is less costly and more readily available. C, it exclusively relies on spiritual approaches without any physical treatment. So we are now moving to section C or 3 on spiritual disciplines. So question 1 under section 3, what are spiritual disciplines designed to accomplish? What are spiritual disciplines designed to accomplish? A, to enhance physical fitness and health. B, to develop and deepen one's relationship with God through consistent practices. C, to achieve social recognition and influence. We go to questions 2. Why might the practice of spiritual disciplines be less emphasized today? Why might be the practice of spiritual disciplines less emphasized today? Answer 1A, they are perceived as irrelevant in modern culture. B, there is a preference for immediate results rather than long-term spiritual growth. C, they are considered outdated. We go to question 3 under section C, section 3. Which of the following is not typically considered a spiritual discipline? Which of the following is not typically considered a spiritual discipline? Regular prayer and meditation, attending social events and gatherings, Bible reading and reflection. We go to question 4. What does spiritual formation refer to? A, the development of physical and mental health through structured routines. C, the process of growing and transforming spiritually through intentional practices. C, the organization of church activities and programs. Question 5. What distinguishes biblical fasting from other types of fastings? What distinguishes spiritual fasting from other types of fastings? A, it is primarily for health benefits rather than spiritual growth. B, it is an act of abstaining from food and drink for spiritual reasons. C, it involves fasting from social media and electronic devices. It involves fasting from spiritual media, from social media and electronic devices. We go to question 6. We go to question 6. Which of the following is not a common form of fasting? Which of the following is not a common form of fasting? Partial fasting, such as abstaining from certain foods. B, absolute fasting, which includes abstaining from all food and drink. C, fasting for academic performance. Fasting for academic performance. Okay, so we move on. Question 7. How are outward spiritual disciplines generally characterized? Mr. Ndumba, you said you are waiting. I'm not sure what you are waiting for. Because at the moment I can't see anyone logged in. If you can still see the questions, please just indicate. Or else I'll wait until I see somebody, that there is someone online. Still waiting. Okay, at least somebody has joined. Okay, so how are outward spiritual disciplines generally characterized? A, they are internal reflections and personal meditations. B, they involve actions and practices that impact and interact with others. C, they focus exclusively on individual private practices. So A, Question: how to spiritual disciplines characterized? Generally characterized. A, their internal reflections and personal meditations. They involve actions and practices that impact and interact with others. C, they focus exclusively on individual private practices. Question 8, which spiritual disciplines are particularly associated with the desert tradition? Which spiritual disciplines are particularly associated with the desert traditions? A, charity and communal service. B, solitude and silence. C, worship and communal feasts. Worship and communal feasts. Question 9 and 10, which are the last. What are the 3 primary reasons for practicing the spiritual discipline of service? What are the 3 primary reasons for practicing the spiritual discipline of service? A, to fulfill personal ambitions, gain social status, and achieve wealth. B, to help others in need, follow Jesus' example, and grow in personal fulfillment. C, to become influential, increase personal comfort, and achieve spiritual enlightenment. Question 10. Which of the following best describes the practice of spiritual disciplines? A, they are routines designed to enhance one's professional skills. B, they are habits aimed at fostering spiritual growth and closeness to God. C, they are social activities meant to engage with the community. So if there are questions that you missed, just type so that I can go to those questions that you have missed. Otherwise, this is where the exam ends. If you've missed some questions, just let me know, type in, and let me know. If you can even also type, I'm also watching the WhatsApp. If that I can get the information fast on WhatsApp, on the group, you can also indicate on WhatsApp. If you have missed any question, please just indicate it either in the chat. I'm not seeing anything on the chat. I'm not seeing anything on the online exam WhatsApp group. So probably maybe just indicate on a WhatsApp group. It may be faster, probably because there may be a delay with what is going on with YouTube. If you have missed any question, please indicate. I can see that we are back to the original number of 4 people. Can you indicate, because we've gone through the exams, can you indicate where you ended? Or let's start with those that were with us from the beginning. Indicate which questions you missed. Just indicate them on a WhatsApp, on our WhatsApp group, online exams. For those of you who were offline for most of the time, indicate where you ended so that we can go back to where you were before you went off, and type that in the WhatsApp group. Okay, there's a question 2, question. Now I'm not sure what this is. Question 828. I take it you mean Section A, question 2. I'm not sure I understand what. Please indicate section, and the question number. Oh, okay. So A 2 to 8. Okay, I think I get it. Question A 2 to 8. Question A, section A. Okay, so those of you who are done, you have no issues, just send your question, your answers to my WhatsApp. So I'll go to question section A for Mr. Nyangu, 8 to 2 to 8. Kindly confirm that you mean section 1, 2 to 8, Mr. Nyangu, if you are still online. I'm still waiting to get feedback from Mr. Nyangu. I can see he's recording. I don't know whether he's recording on a voice note on WhatsApp. Okay, let me just listen to that.
Sir, question A, from 2 to 8. You can repeat that one? Thank you.
Okay, so I will start the question 2 to 8. Question 2 says, what is the major issue with many current theological training models? What is the major issue with many current theological training models? A, excessive focus on practical skills without theological knowledge. B, overemphasis on academic knowledge with limited focus on spiritual character development. C, prioritizing spiritual formation over academic learning. So those of you, in case you missed any section, please indicate in the WhatsApp group and I'll go back for you. So that is question 2, section A, or section 1, question 2. We go to question 3. Which of the following theological model is characterized by its focus on intellectual rigor and doctrinal accuracy? A, Berlin model. B, Athens model. C, Jerusalem model. Question 4. What is the limitation of the Berlin model of theological training? What is the limitation of the Berlin model of theological training? A, it overemphasizes practical application. B, it focuses heavily on academic study and theory. C, it is well balanced between theory and practice. We move to question 4. What is the limitation of the sorry, that's question. Let's go to question 5. Question 5. According to Wajman, what is the traditional meaning of spirituality? What is the traditional meaning of spirituality? Question A.
Yes, sir, I mean just that. Thank you.
Okay, question A process of reformation to recover the original shape of man, the image of God. B, a program that is complete in few weeks. C, learning how to do things for God. What is the traditional meaning of spirituality from a biblical perspective? Okay, we go to question 6. In Christian spiritual formation, what role does Christ play according to Wajman? A, he serves as the inspirational figure without direct impact on transformation. B, he is the central model and source of transformation for believers. C, is a historical figure whose teachings are secondary to spiritual practices. So we go to question 7. Which of the following best describes the process of spiritual formation? A quick fix to spiritual issues through specific programs. B, an ongoing journey of growth and transformation into Christ-likeness. C, completing a series of religious tasks and rituals. Which of the following best describes the process of spiritual formation? A quick fix to spiritual issues through specific programs. B, an ongoing journey of growth and transformation. C, completing a series of religious tasks and rituals. Question 8. What aspect is emphasized in spiritual formation according to provided text? What aspect is emphasized in spiritual formation according to provided text? A, immediate changes in behavior through external efforts. B, a continuous responsive relationship to God's transformative grace. C, adherence to a set of prescribed religious activities. Okay, so we are dealing with the last question. What aspect is emphasized in spiritual formation according to the notes that we gave or the lectures? A, so what aspect is emphasized in spiritual formation according to the provided text? A, immediate changes in behavior through external efforts. A, continuous responsive relationship to God's transformative grace. C, adherence to a set of prescribed religious activities. Okay, so again, if you are done, you can send the question to my WhatsApp line, not to the group. If there's a question that you are missing, please let me know. We've just gone over questions 1, section A, question 2 to 8, which Mr. Nyangu missed. So if you are missing any other question, let me know so that I can go over them. If you are done with all the questions, just send them to my WhatsApp group. But if you have any other question that is missing, please post it in the WhatsApp chat or on the YouTube chat. Okay, I'm not seeing any response. Then I take it that we are all good, and I'll be waiting for the your exam sheet. Kindly send it to my WhatsApp line, and then I'll get back to you as soon as I'm able to. As soon as I mark your exams. Thank you very much. For taking advantage of this opportunity. We'll see what we can do for the others who were not able to join. I'm signing out now. Good night. I can see that somebody else also has joined again before I logged out. Please, before I go, I'm just about to, okay. Please, if you have just joined and you missed some questions, let me know so that I can go over them. But if you're okay, please send the questions to my WhatsApp line. Okay, I'm not seeing any response, so I am going to exit now, unless I receive a comment as to where you missed if you missed any question. Okay, thank you very much. Good night.